Welcome back. As you can see from behind me, the water's really low. This is actually a problem a lot of us prospectors have to deal with as the summer goes on and the water level drops down. But this is where the beauty of pumps come in and a little ingenuity. So a lot of people don't realize the bedrock is probably 3 to 5 feet below all these rocks. So even as this all dries up, even in here, there's still water flow coming through here. So when you don't have enough water, or maybe you're far away and the pump's not going to reach, you should be able to dig down, in theory, and then create a pool that you can pull water from. And create a little ecosystem of circulating the water and running your equipment. The problem is pumps can't run sand and dirt and all that stuff. So what do? And that's where this comes into play. Oh, on a side note, I picked this shovel up the other day at the hardware store. I was using it yesterday. Depending on how I release these videos, either this video's after or before, you'll see that in action, and you'll see it in action today. It's actually working really good. Super heavy. Not something I really want to carry far out into the woods, but so far it's working pretty good. So if you take your standard pump, where's my pump? They have a little protective filter or guard on it to keep rocks from going in there. Problem is, when this is sitting in the sand, the pump is right here, and then the sand level is right next to it. So what I designed is an extension to screw on. Yeah, give me 1 second and I'll put it on. Alright, so I just pulled that off. And as you can see, the impeller's right there, so it's very prone to sucking up sand and material when it's, when the guard's real close to it. So by having an extension, there's no way now it can do that. This thing just slides on and then twist locks. Now it's twist locked on. But the problem is, I'm still going to get little specks of sand. So what would you do? In a pinch, take a trusty sock and put a sock over it. Now you got a filter. I'll show you that in a second. But a simple little thing to help keep the sand out. And I'll show you this working. If you haven't figured out yet, I like prospecting, but I love engineering, inventing, and problem solving way more. So I actually enjoy trying to have a problem. I have to come up with a solution. There's tons of YouTube videos out there showing all kinds of prospecting, but if you're more interested in the engineering standpoint of it, you might want to follow me through my journey as I just keep creating new stuff to make prospecting a little easier. I can't develop something that finds the gold, but I can definitely make it more efficient and faster and easier to get. So let me get set up. I'm gonna actually, I want to dig right here. You can see, I don't know if that's showing up. Get a lot of garnet, just a pile of it right there. The problem is, I could set up the pump over there and stuff, but to show the aspect of what I'm trying to prove today, I'm gonna dig down here and create a well of water that I can use to process my material. Because I do have flowing water here, but even if this creek bed was bone dry, there could still be about a foot high thick water layer still flowing underneath you. You wouldn't even realize. It's not always the case. It depends on the formation of the bedrocks and all that stuff, and how much of a drought you're in. But if you do see any trickling water, just remember, down deeper it's even more. And you just got to be able to tap into that. So let me set up, start digging the hole. This is not going to be fun. I got to probably get down about 2 feet or so, and it's going to have to be a nice wide hole. And what I'll do is I'll take the material and put it to the side, because I can't process it dry yet until I get the water in there, and then I can refilter it through. So this should be interesting. This is actually a first test of that thing. I have not tested it yet. And we'll find out together how well this is going to work. Let the fun begin. I don't know why people pay for a gym membership when you can just become a prospector. As you can see, I'm about a foot down. Not fun digging, but I'm getting there. And of course, there's two massive rocks. There's one right here. That's why I had to kick more that way. But you can see it filling in. I just got to get down deeper because I got to put the tailings back into that hole at some point. So I need a lot of volume. So let me continue on, and then I'll turn you back on when I think I'm good. All right, I'm about a foot down, or probably a little more in the dead center of that hole. I might have to go deeper, but I just wanted to give this a try to see if that's going to be enough water volume. And it'll determine if I got to go wider. But let's just set this up. The nice thing is all that material up there is nice and loose. I can use my little shovel and just classify it into the bucket. But I want to make sure that the tailings at this time don't come into this hole. And the same with the Goldbox. I got it shooting down the side here so the water can come around into the hole, but the sediment tailings will stay there. In theory, this is going to work awesome. Famous last words. But here's the filter. Like I said, you should be able to see that. Just a simple extension. I actually went bigger on the diameter because I want the sock to stretch. Because otherwise the pores are going to be too tight. There's no way I'm going to be able to keep out the sediment, per se, or the silt, but I want the rocks not to go through here. If I was to create a filter that blocked all the silt out, it wouldn't have the flow. Twist on. It should just slide right over. Oh, and I did add a hole at the bottom. The only reason that's there is if any rocks get in here, I can shake them out quick without having to pull this off the pump all the time. And just like that. I have protection now. I should keep a lot of the smaller particles out of the pump. Let's give it a try. The water's going to be dirty. I can't do anything about that, but I just want to make sure I get enough. And then as this overfills, it'll trickle down there and keep that filling. So far, so good. I'm not seeing the water level drop that much. Uh-oh. I have to do a take two on this. All right. Just repositioned the filter. It was down the bottom and just silting up a little, so I had to lift it up off the ground a little. I am a little low on the water flow, but it's actually working pretty good, and you can see as it overflows, it just trickles right back down. So I got a full system going right here. Ideally, if like you see on Gold Rush and stuff like that, they'll do multiple ponds, or settling ponds, to get the water will get cleaner as it works its way over to the pump. But we'll try this. See how it works. I just want to get all this light material into the bucket and then run it and see if there's any gold in here, and then we'll continue on. Alright, get the Goldbox set up. I had to actually pull that sock off and rinse it out. It was packed full of silt. It's working. I got enough pressure, it looks like, so I'm gonna run some material. Material looks good. And there is some gold in there. Not as much as I'd like. Alright, let me do that a little better. There's small pieces. That's why I wanted to go further in, but let me just clean that up just a tad better. I don't know if you can see. It's not going to be too much glare. Let me see if I can get this right. Yeah, this is going to be tough to show. Where are you? You see it? It's small, but it's not too bad. There we go. Get that glare just perfect. You see it all along there. It's probably 10 pieces in there. They're small, but it's not bad. So it worked. I got some gold. Yeah, like I said, I probably do that just a little different. Go a little wider, let more flow in there, and then put some rocks down there, because the pump kept going down to the bottom of the hole where it's really like clay, and it was filtering, clogging up the sock. But it worked. So I'm gonna run one more bucket of that material to finish that area, and then I'll probably start picking some other spots. But I'll keep the Goldbox over here since I'm set up with the pump circulation right now. But yeah, it worked good. Just taking a break, just overlooking the river because it's a nice view. But it also made me notice something that if you watch one of my older videos where I was trying to find gold in an area that didn't have a lot of gold, I was giving off some tips, and that same tip applies here. That it's just something you really want to look for to increase your chances. It definitely, you know, other than just an inside bend, this can almost double or triple your chances of finding more gold. And to show you, I'm set up right here. I ended up digging further up, right where that shovel is. You can see the handle sticking above the rock. That's the start of the inside bend where a lot of material has been dropping off, and I wanted to check it out. Since the water level's up there, I didn't have to dig a hole. I was able to use this flowing water, but I'm still set up here with the Goldbox. I had to rinse out that sock. It was full of sediment, so every 2 buckets I'd have to, if I was to continue running all day, I'd have to actually do that to keep it clean. But it's working great, and that little cage on there, that works great. I just ran that in the river without the sock, and it's perfect. It keeps it off the bottom. There's never going to be a speck of sand that's going to get in that pump again. Because with the other cap, I did have if I set it down in some soft sand, it would actually start to suck up the sand. I've actually had to pull it apart a few times to get it out because the pump stopped working. But anyways, to get back to my tips, we have an inside bend. That's the first thing you always want to check for. But what makes this really good is we have a long straightaway. Now, if there was a multiple of inside bends, that gives more area for that gold to deposit. But when you get a long straightaway during the flood, that's picking up every little speck. And because of the water volume, it doesn't have time to drop out until it hits this inside bend. So you get all that gold coming down here and then opening up. But another factor that really implements the gold dropping out super fast, and is actually some of the technology behind the Goldbox I invented, dealing with different pressures, is you get a nice narrow long channel here, so the water pressure is super high. You got an inside bend, but if you notice right where that tree is and where the shovel is, it opens up right here. So now the water pressure is just instantly dropped. You have an inside bend where the gold is, and now the pressure just drops, so it's going to settle out fast. That's another reason why I'm up there digging at the beginning, because in theory the bigger pieces will drop out first. I hit a lot of clay. I don't know if there's a little higher, a little lower, it would be better, but I just wanted to do a check. Because one thing that drives me crazy, I've been noticing when I re-edit these videos, when I play back, I'm like, oh, why am I digging here? I should have dug there, or I should have dug here, I should have dug there. You know, it always looks better in the camera versus you being, you know, in line of sight without looking through the camera lens. But I just wanted to point that out. Like I said, I just took a break. I just did 2 heavy buckets out of there. They were filled right to the rim. And I'm going to run those, and that might be it for the day. I've been up camping for a couple days. I am exhausted. This, like I said before, this is 1 or 2 videos, consecutive days. So I've been doing a lot of digging, and I'm feeling it. So let me get the camera set up. We'll fast forward through those 2 buckets, and hopefully there's some decent gold in there. I'm kind of interested to see. All right, let's run these 2 buckets. Here's the gold. See if I can get this to focus right. Where are you? Come on, focus, focus. The hardest part. There we go. Not too bad. It's small, but it's good. Look at the garnet. Some cool pieces that came out too. Yeah, definitely pretty good at the beginning of that inside bend. Like I was telling you, that's where it's going to want to drop off the fastest. But just to recap, yeah, I didn't realize, as I was saying, I was burying my pump. So let's see. And despite that, it was still working. Almost up to the end. Yeah. Hopefully that socked and came off a little. But as you can see, the clay and silt really start clogging that. So you got to clean it out. But it works. It kept the pump from clogging and stopping. It kept going. So, to recap, just to show, you know, I did have water in this scenario, but if you don't, it shows that you, with a little engineering and thought process, you can run material with very little water. It also helps having a piece of equipment that doesn't use much water and is very efficient at filtering out the material in the first place. But yeah, it actually worked pretty good. Let me know if there's interest on these filters. Even if you don't run it in this scenario with a sock, just having an extra bigger case on the bottom is actually working even in the cleaner water. You just have to go a little deeper with it. But if there's interest, maybe I'll start putting those on the website. But also, if you maybe you have some ideas of something you want me to see if I can develop, just put them down in the comments. Like I said, I enjoy the engineering aspect of this stuff. I love prospecting. I also love watching a lot of the YouTube channels out there that do the prospecting. We pretty much all watch similar YouTubers. But I like to do a little different. I like to bring more engineering and development into my prospecting. So I'm finding gold, but I'm also trying new equipment. I mean, it's the 21st century. We got to start evolving more with our equipment. And I know a lot of people aren't big on anything battery powered, but the batteries these days, I ran that all day yesterday with no issues, charged it up overnight, didn't even fully charge it and just ran it again, and it's fine. It can go all day. Battery technology has come a long way. These bilge pumps are under 20 bucks just for the pump itself. The hoses, I actually won't go with a heavier duty hose, which is more expensive, but those can be cheap. So that's the future, using the pumps and stuff. I know some states don't allow it, which I am actually working on some new style sluices for people that can't run pumps, but that'll be in the future. But just another fun day on the river. And another thing I'm finding is, which doesn't get a lot of screen time, is shovels. I have actually 5 different shovels that I have on me now when I go out prospecting. I have the long standard shovel that I use when the water is deep, that way I don't have to reach down. I just started using this one. Like I said, it's heavy, but that long little narrow wedge or whatever works easier to get in between the rocks and lift it up. Plus this is solid steel, so that's why it's so heavy. So that thing is becoming my new favorite shovel. And then as you saw earlier, I have a little one that I've used too multiple times to get in between the rocks. It's a little 2-footer. They're super cheap. I use that one, and then I have a couple standard 4-footers that I use. So you got to have options when you're out on the river. Every river is different. Some material is easy to dig. Most of the stuff in New Hampshire seems to be just packed like concrete, and it's really tough digging, but it's doable. And I proved that you can, all you need is dig a hole and you got water to run your equipment. So the final look, but that's gonna wrap it up. Another fun day on the river. This is actually day 2. I am sore. I mean, the camera doesn't show how much work it goes into digging these holes. If anybody does this all the time, you know how this feels. But I mean, I wish I could fast forward just like in the videos and get to the bottom of the hole, but it definitely takes some work. But even digging that little water hole right there, 15 minutes to get down there deep enough to start running the pump. So it wasn't that bad per se, but as always, get out on the river, have fun. Instead of paying for a gym membership, use that money for a shovel and a pan and just get out and prospect. I get way more of a workout here than I do in the gym. You're a lot more driven out here. It's amazing what gold does to motivate you. But again, try to have fun. Life's short. You never want to have regrets. You want to get out there and enjoy it as much as you can. Especially in the Northeast, these seasons are really short, so we got to maximize our time out in these elements. Right now, it's perfect. Another 3-4 months, it's going to start getting cold, icy. So, but I don't even want to think about that. That's way too far in the future for me right now. I really focus day by day, week by week. But again, if you have a concept, maybe you want me to see if you can explain it well enough in the comments, I'll see what I can do. Maybe I'll make a video on developing somebody else's concept. If it works, I'll email you the CAD file. I'm not into the business of stealing people's ideas. I just want to inspire people to get out there and try different things. Like I said, gold prospecting has been around forever. A lot of the technology we use, the sluices and stuff, have been around forever. It's time to have a little fun and start bringing in the modern world back into an old hobby. So I'm gonna wrap it up there. I got some holes to fill in, some cleanup, and I got a long ride home. So I'll see you on the next video.